real quick, I wanted to talk about something that I think is very important. Yesterday, there was the Davos convention. Now, the Davos convention is mostly where countries, not China, like the United States, countries like Canada, countries like Switzerland, like it's pretty much European and America and Canada, right? And I think Australia, right? These countries link up, and the convention is supposed to be about trade and economics, but they were talking political. Y'all can go look up Trump at Davos. Trump was being Trump, right? But there's another person that gave a speech at the Davos convention, and it was the Canadian Prime Minister, Mark Carney, right? Now, to preface, a lot of people thought during the Canadian election last year that Canada was going to go towards more right wing, because the main issues that they were having was housing. It was the same shit in America, right? Housing. There was a fentanyl crisis in Canada. Everything's expensive in Canada. It's similar issues that we have. United States, we're dealing with, healthcare costs. They have free healthcare, but they gotta wait a while. Like, it's similar issues, right? So a lot of people thought Canada was gonna go more right wing last election, but because Trump, y'all remember when Trump got in office, he started talking about annexing Canada and making Canada the 51st state and all this other jazz. That's when it went from Canada. When I say it, I mean the primary focus for the election. It went from Canada's housing problems and Canada's affordability problems to we don't want to be American. So that's why, and I'm not saying Mark Carney is unqualified for this position. I'm not saying anything like that. But that is what caused the big swing from right wing to, they say leader of the Liberal Party, which in Canada, I believe that's like more so like centrist. I don't know. I'm not Canadian. But I want to preface that because this Mark Carney, he's not a rookie, right? He's not like a fresh face on the block. He didn't recently take over the government. He's been working in government and working with financial institutions because he really came from the finance side of things for Canada. He's been working in this for pretty much all his damn life, right? He's not no rookie. He's tapped in, right? For all the kids out there, he's tapped in. So Mark Carney goes on to give this grandiose speech using a bunch of big words, pretty much saying we are not going to allow America to just walk all over us. When he says us, obviously he means Canada. We're not going to allow America to just walk all over us and we have no say anymore, right? He kept talking about this anti-communist talking point where we're taking down the sign, right? He explains in his speech that in a lot of communist countries, communism keeps going in a lot of these countries, not because the leaders, are enforcing their will. Obviously, that's one reason, but another reason is the people continue to participate. So he says in his speech, we're taking the sign down. We're ending the participation in the old world order or whatever words you want to use. We're not signing up for America being number one. That was the speech. But it's important to recognize why he's saying that, because he says it in the speech. In the speech, he goes on to talk about Greenland, right? Now, everyone knows Trump wants Greenland. Some people are saying it's because they want to build some weird no-law city that they were trying to build in Honduras at first, but someone lost the election, so some shit got moved around, so now they're trying to do it again in Greenland, right? Now, I don't know why Trump won Greenland, right? I don't, at the end of the day, I don't know. I don't know if it's because of the minerals. I don't know if it's because of, not heat waves, but y'all know what I'm talking about. Global warming, melting all the ice, and there's supposed to be more resources in that area of Greenland. I don't know exactly why he wants it, but he keeps saying that he wants it, right? Now, my issue with the Mark Carney speech isn't what he said, it's he didn't say enough, right? Because you gotta pick apart what he's really saying in the speech. I recommend everyone to go search up Mark Carney or Canadian Prime Minister DAVOS speech. It's like 10 or so minutes. It's very important. He says straight up in the speech, we've been playing along with this order for a while. We have just been putting a sign up and allowing America to do whatever. Now, my issue is, and this is a big issue for me, why are y'all only saying, because he says the middle powers, which is Europe, Canada, Australia, need to team up because the old regime is rupturing and we need to figure out new trade. He's pretty much saying the United States is controlling world trade. The United States is controlling world prices. The United States, he's saying the same shit that Gaddafi was saying in the 80s, in the 90s. You get what I'm saying? But my issue is, and Mark Carney not no rookie. He been doing his job not prime minister, but he been on his job for a while. He not no rookie. He not 35. He not no young boy. He's been around. He's seen what's going on for mad long. He's seen Israel blow up Palestinians since the 40s. Well, he's not alive. He wasn't alive since the 40s, but y'all get what I'm saying. He's been seeing kids die in the Middle East for mad long. He said in the speech, hey, it feels like some countries have to follow the rules while other countries get to just do what they want. My issue with Mark Carney saying this is Canada was once a part of the countries that could do whatever they want. Yeah, they gotta follow some rules, but they was making their money and they was benefiting from the system when they weren't receiving 10% tariffs or and shit like that. You get what I'm saying? Now that it's affecting you, Canada, and Greenland, and long story short, white people, now that it's affecting white people, the Canadian Prime Minister wants everyone to team up to stop the United States. My problem isn't the messenger. My problem is the message was incomplete. Mark Carney should have went up there and said, hey, it's our fault too. We have to take accountability. We allowed this. But no one is saying, none of the European nations, Canada, Australia, no one will say, hey, we played a part in shit going bad. All they're going to say is, man, we got to team up and make it look good again. Look good for who? I don't know. Because when, and this is my final point, when Speed went to Africa and tried to buy a diamond, and they said, no, we don't sell diamonds in our town. The European company that controls all the diamond mines and are paying slave wages, well, not even paying slave wages and, horrible working conditions and shit like that, they control what happens with the diamonds and resources. I don't hear Mark Carney saying, hey, we have to be fair and we have to establish better rules. When Trump go in, invade Venezuela and kidnap their president, I don't hear Mark Carney say, hey, we need to be fair and come up with better rules. When Israel go and bomb all those kids, when the United States bombed all those kids. All my life, the United States has been bombing kids in the Middle East. All my life. I ain't heard not one European, Canadian leader say, hey, we need to team up and come up with a new game plan because the old world order is breaking down. You know where I heard those talking points from normally? Black people and Arabs, but black people. I hear black people giving those talking points when they're at the lowest in terms of, because us black people, we the best, right? But in terms of economics, civilization, whatever word you want to use, in terms of those white power structure things that the white power structure care about, black people have always been at the bottom. But we have been saying this for mad long, that the system is unfair and that we need to establish our own trade. Y'all can do the research. Y'all can do the history. Y'all can go. It's not, you don't have to focus on Gaddafi. You can go look up Ibrahim Traore. He was saying this shit as soon as he got into power. So he's not saying anything revolutionary or new. He's literally just taking African leader talking points, putting it in better words to make it sound like he's shitting on Trump, and removing Europe, removing the accountability factor that Europe has to take, removing the accountability factor that Canada has to take, removing the accountability factor that Australia has to take, and all of these other middle powers that benefited when shit was going good, but now that shit is going bad, aka Trump wants Greenland. That is the going bad point. Because Trump wants Greenland, now we gotta change how everything is done. That's bullshit. At the end of the day, that's bullshit. Great speech. You sounded good. The words do actually mean something, but it's bullshit. So what I want to say is, Mark Carney is right on one thing, right? If you listen to his speech, we all can agree that the old regime, the old way of doing things is over. It's cooked. You can't do the old way of doing things when every day you wake up, Trump is announcing a new tariff. Trump is announcing he wants something new. Trump is announcing, it's not even just Trump. Russia announcing they want something. China announcing they want something. The global superpowers are all working hard to get whatever they want, even if that means destroying the middle powers. So it's over. He's right. It's cooked. So what do? When I say we, I mean everyday people like me and you. The way that Mark Carney was up there talking about something, we need to establish our own trade routes and trade organizations and our own, economies and stuff like that at a local, state, regional level. Us everyday people need to be doing the same thing. It's just that simple. Us local everyday people need to be establishing our own communities, building our own farms, making sure our own water supply is good. We can't rely on not our government, definitely not our government, definitely not the US government. We can't rely on them. But if the power structure changes and now the new world order is Canada plus Europe plus Australia, you think niggas can rely on them? I'm talking to the black people at this point. Black people, you think niggas can rely on any of these governments? That's all I'm gonna say. That's all I'm gonna say.